Yes, Johnny Grube, LawmanTraining.com. I haven't made a video in a while, and I'm going to talk about the exercises we do, and I've talked about this before. Today I had a kettlebell workout. I haven't done a kettlebell workout in I guess almost 4 months since my birthday, where I swung a 30-pound kettlebell 1,570 times. I didn't train for it. I wasn't doing any kettlebell work up to that point for maybe a year, for my last birthday, I think, when I did kettlebell swings. I don't use very much. I do use them to carry once in a while, but as far as swinging, it's hit or miss with that. So today I decided I'll do a 50-pound kettlebell workout and see where I'm at with it without any training to do it. So I did 250 kettlebell swings, alternate and swing. I'd swing a catch, I'd throw it up, catch, bring it back down, let it go, catch, and just keep going with that. And I would do 25, I'd farmer's carry the kettlebell one-handed, 15 yards, and do another 25. And I'd repeat, and I did 250 swings, and I guess the walk was 165 yards without putting it down. 10 minutes, I think. It's good for grip strength and everything else. And the reason I do those types of workouts occasionally is just to see where I'm at. Also, these are types of exercises that I would do on a daily basis. Okay, carry stuff, throwing things around like that. I do that on a daily basis. A lot of people want to come and say things who are, let's say a vegan, for instance. Vegans love the argument that they're in such better shape than everybody. Now, these vegans are usually long-distance runners, scrawny, weak men, or they're cyclists. They're usually real young with very little muscle and very little strength. But for some reason, they want to tell you about their VO2 max and their conditioning and things like that. And I'm like, listen, I did all that stuff a long time ago, and I can tell you right now, it was fucking useless to me. Okay, the farthest I ever ran, it was just on a whim, was 13 miles. Just went out to run, I was bored, and I fucking got to 13, said, this is stupid, I'm not doing this again. Because it had no crossover for me, okay? Now, for instance, I find in my world, in my experiences, in my life that I live, I would be better off hitting a heavy bag, okay, and learning how to fight, because in my life, I have had fights. There's been situations where I've had to be able to handle myself and protect people in my family. I've never had to ride my bike 1,000 miles. It's like a guy that says, oh, I bench 300 pounds, okay? I say to him, well, hey, I did that in high school. They get burned up, whatever. Then I'll say, well, let me tell you something. In my world, in my life, in my experience of being a blue-collar worker, having fights, that bench press didn't do anything for me outside of the gym, okay? At not one point in my life did I ever have something on my chest that I couldn't get off, okay? And if I had anything on my chest that fucking big, I was probably losing, okay? I didn't need it. I did it, but I didn't need it because I bought into everything else. And when people will say, well, you do what you like, that's fine, do what you like, but don't bring it to me as if that's the way or that's the gauge to the level of fitness. Like I have a mountain bike over there. Stopped riding a while when my knee got all fucked up. And I would take it up these hills in town, and they're very steep, very steep. And all I want to do is ride these hills. I mean, it was a constant pounding on the legs, thighs would swell up. I never see any cyclist in my town riding up any of these hills. They're supposedly so conditioned, but you don't see them riding these hills. They'll ride hills, because a lot of hills in Pennsylvania, but not these types of hills. It's like the runner. I have a lot of my friends were cops back in the day. And I caught one of my friends one time jogging. I pulled over and said, hey man, what are you doing? He goes, well, I'm jogging for the job. I'm like, really? I was like, when's the last time anybody jogged away from you? I said, you'd be better off working on sprints and being able to hold somebody down in like a wrestling match, because once you sprint all out, you got your gear on, you're fucking tired, this dude doesn't want to go because he's already running from you, you better be able to handle him. And if you watch TV, you can check it on YouTube, cops still today don't get it. They still can't handle a man one-on-one without a bunch of other people. They're out of breath. Even if they are training, they're not training to where, hey, they're fucking exploding in sprints and wrestling with somebody. That's the fucking job. You may not do it every day, but you're going to have to do it. So why would you not train that way? You know, firefighters, they train to fight fires, okay? They do. It's smart, okay? Cops don't train to be cops for some reason. They may train to use a gun, but we already see, if you watch it on TV, a lot of them don't know how to use a gun, unless they're SWAT and things like that. But even so, that's not what I'm getting at. But these people want to come to me with a lot of these, these exercise protocols. One guy said he rides his bike 1,000 miles. When would I ever in my entire life need to ride my bike 1,000 miles? I got a car. And I can tell you right now, if I had to ride my bike 1,000 miles, things are pretty fucking bad, okay? That's going to have no crossover for me. I don't want to do that. I don't need to do that. But if that is you, that's fine. But don't come at me and act like you're the fittest man alive, because if we took you and put you 6 minutes on a mat with a wrestler, you fucking wouldn't be able to handle a fucking minute and a half without gassing out. It's a fact. Totally different. If that was the case, guys that go out and jog, okay, policemen, would be able to chase down a criminal, okay, at a high rate of speed of sprinting, all out, and be able to handle them once they got them to the ground and be able to handcuff them. But they can't, okay? Just like most of the training out there. It's just more for looks and more for the ego than it is for actual function. And you can, like I said, do what you want. But I had to change all that for my own personal preferences, because I found I did a lot of shit that was completely useless. And I'm not hating that I did it. I just learned, okay? And that's one of the things that I'm pretty hard-headed in a lot of things, but when it comes to like the way I eat, the exercise, I'm pretty open-minded about a lot of things when it comes to that. Probably more open-minded about anything than I am, with them two things. But it has to make sense to me, okay? And a lot of things, when I look back, didn't make sense. I was just doing it because everybody else was doing it, okay? Same with some diets. I was doing it when I was younger because everybody else was doing it. I was telling my grandson Jace the other day, if somebody would have told me dog shit would have given me a lot of protein, I'd have eaten dog shit, okay? I was into that shit back in the day, okay? But now I'm a little bit smarter because I've been around a little bit longer, and I've done all the things that people are doing now, the distance running, doing different fucking types of training and exercise and heavy powerlifting and things like that. And it just, in my world, doesn't have a whole lot of crossover. So when I train now, I want to do things that are going to help me further as I get older, because the older you get, people say slow down and things like that. I just think you need to be smarter and not do the stupid shit that doesn't really have any bearing on outside and how you live your real life. You can get away with a lot less than people think. You don't need to pound your body to the ground. You don't need to do any of that shit. If you're training for a competition, you compete, that's a whole different story. But to maintain and to be at a high level more than most any other people doesn't take a whole lot. Like I said, you can go out and try the 250 pound kettlebell swing one-handed and carry it, and you'll find it's not too easy. It's not too easy, and I guarantee most guys that are in the gym bench pressing, they're not going to do something like that. Their body is not functional for that type of work. It's like blue collar work, and we've already had that discussions. I've had many videos about the blue collar and white collar and gym and stuff like that. But just remember, when you train, pay attention to how you're doing it. See if it really matters and if it's really going to help you get to where you need to be later.